Howdy doodly everyone, it's your boy Narb coming at you live. We are here on the first episode of the Vroom Room. So I'm here with Pablo Rosales. He's got this amazing Camaro for us today, and we're gonna take a quick look into all the things that he's done to it. So Pablo, thanks for joining us.
Not a problem.
Is there anything that you want to say just in general before we get started about the car?
It's been a dream of mine to own one of these since I was a kid, man. I've just seen them drive around when I was a little kid, and I just thought they were the coolest cars out there. So when I grew up, this is the second one I've ever owned, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Really? Okay, nice. So what was the first car you ever owned, and how'd you come to owning it?
All right, so it was a 94 Toyota 4Runner, and it was a salvage title, but my sister originally bought it in good condition, wrecked it. My parents bought it and fixed it, but the frame was bent, man, so it never drove straight. So they gave it to me, right?
Yeah.
And it looked nice, but the tires always wore uneven because the frame was bent. So yeah, that was the first car, man. It was a gas guzzler, low power, you know, just a four-wheel drive.
Yeah, good to learn on and just to get you from A to B.
Yeah, man. That's where I learned how to do all the maintenance, you know, like oil changes, brakes, all the basic stuff. And then I started getting into off-roading and put a lift on it, 33-inch TSLs, and then went from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun time.
It was.
What kind of cars did you grow up around, and were your parents or family members into cars?
Well, I grew up around a bunch of Corollas and extended cab V6 Silverados, nothing fancy. However, my father would tell me stories about how he owned a 1965 baby blue Mustang, and you know, he would just reminisce on those times of driving it, and it kind of stoked the fires of, you know, like car enthusiasm. But no, we never owned any cool cars growing up, man. It was just something, you know, as a society, there's cars in every cool movie, you know. So you grow up and you start fantasizing about owning them. So I've always been into Camaros, and I knew eventually I would own one.
And on your second one?
Yeah, on my second
one. That's awesome. So what do you love most about your current car, this one?
Oh man, I love the way it looks. I love how it sounds. What's not to love, right? Except it's still a 35-year-old 5.7. So compared to modern vehicles, the power is, you know, it's not comparable. A lot of people have suggested that I LS swap it, but you know, I'm not trying to race. I'm not trying to be the fastest guys. I'm just trying to cruise. And it's a 35-year-old engine. Sure, it's been massaged a little bit, but you know, I'm trying to keep it to where, you know, it's still 35 years old. It's a cruiser wheel.
Just enjoying it for what it is.
Go out and enjoy the drive, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. So do you go to any car meets, car shows, anything like that?
Whenever I have time, I go to them. I have entered a couple of car shows, but I've never been one, you know, to try and go and get trophies or anything. I just did it for fun. They had vendors, and my wife was selling some, you know, those epoxy cups and whatnot at the time. So I figured, I'm already going to be there, might as well enter the car.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Second place on the pony.
Wow, without even trying, that's great.
Yeah, I didn't even wash it, man. The engine bay was filthy.
Yeah.
Everyone was popping their hoods, and I just kept mine closed. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So how often would you say you have to work on this one or fix something up or anything like that?
Well, it's not my daily driver, so it seems like a couple times a year something happens to it. You know, it just depends on my workload. So last year, I think I drove it once or twice.
Oh, wow.
So it just depends. I mean, there's some years where I'm driving it all the time. Like this year, I've driven it quite a lot more. And the only thing I've had to do this year is the muffler went bad, and think that's it. Yeah, just the muffler went bad. Had to, replace it.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't sound like
It wasn't too
anything
bad,
serious.
you know?
Yeah.
The muffler's it was only like 3 years old though, so I think it's just because it's sat.
Yeah.
It's sat for a while.
Yeah, they like to run, be free.
That's right. Yeah.
So, do you generally modify your cars, or do you like to keep them stock?
Every single one I've ever owned, man.
That's the way to go.
Every single one. I think the only vehicle that I didn't modify was a 2002 Mazda B2000, a little single cab, 4-cylinder truck. There wasn't any aftermarket support at the time, so all I did was just tint it. That's it. That's the only one I kept stock. Everything else, always modified.
Yeah, with this Texas sun, you definitely have to tint them.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, that's awesome. What would you say is your most memorable experience with this car?
Just cruising, man.
Cruising.
Going down 410, 1604 loop, just cruising at night. I usually go at night. Like I said, it has AC, but I just want to roll with the windows down.
Yeah,
just
and there's
the
less
car.
people, so that
That's
helps.
right. It's a lot cooler.
Have you ever participated in any kind of racing or anything like that?
In Mexico,
days? In Mexico.
In Mexico, I've done it a couple times, but now, I mean, not too much, man. Like I said, it's not a very fast car. It's a cruiser. That's what I built it for. I wanted to cruise, and whenever I feel like getting a little squirrely, I'll get on it. But for the most part, it's a cruiser, and that's what I built it for.
Now, what all have you done to it?
Oh man.
Yeah, the whole laundry list.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the engine, so it's a 5.7 block, the original, and I did a complete rebuild on it. But I went ahead and did skip wide 200cc aluminum heads and a comp cam 268 XFI cam, I believe, along with a Holley Stealth Ram intake, Dyno Don headers, and let's see, Champion 3-row radiator. I mean, everything's been done.
Oh, it sounds mean. You can definitely tell you've had some work into it.
Yeah, I think everything's been touched at this point, and I tried not to cut corners. I tried not to, go cheap on it. So a little bit of everything's been touched.
That's awesome. What wheels are these? These are really nice wheels.
Yeah, they're US mags, man, and they're 18-inch. And I thought I had staggered them, but I did a stagger where the front wheels are a little smaller than the rear wheels, just by a little bit. But yeah, they're US mags, 18-inch, all the way around.
How wide are the rear tires?
I think they are. Let me see, it says right here. I'm gonna have to check, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's been a while. I think they're 305s or 295s, something like that.
Nice. Yeah, no, you can definitely tell it's a little extra thicker in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, driving behind you earlier. No, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't want to put any spacers, so I didn't go as thick as maybe I wanted to go like a 315, but in order for them to fit, tucked in, you would have to use like spacers or showing it. I didn't want to do any of that, so I believe they're 295s or 305s, something like that.
Nice. And I believe I saw this was auto.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So the only way back in 1989 to get the IROC-Z was it came with auto, because a T5 transmission apparently had issues handling the extra 20-30 pound-feet of torque that the 5.7 had compared to the 5.0.
I can imagine that you've had a few manual cars. Do you miss driving stick?
Not so much. Not so much, no. So, it's fun. I imagine this would be a fun car if it was stick shift, but to daily drive, I've owned daily vehicles that I daily drove that were stick shift, and it was a nightmare, man. In traffic, constantly having to have your your clutch in, and just
Yeah.
you end up getting sore when you get stuck in 5 o'clock traffic, man. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So no, I don't miss it. It's fun, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of those purists that are like, man, if it's not stick shift, it's not a real car. As long as you have fun with it. You know?
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, I mean, that's why we have these, to enjoy them and have fun.
That's right. Man.
So that's fantastic. What do you think this car says about your personality? Like, if someone were to see it, what do you think they'd say? Oh, the owner must be like this.
Oh yeah, I honestly don't know, but I'll be frank with you. I don't care.
You don't care?
I built this for me. I built it to have fun, enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people that, you know, they don't like the wheels, right? Like third gen car shouldn't, or third gen Camaro shouldn't have that type of wheel. I built it for me.
Yeah.
I built it how I like it. You don't like it, go build your own.
Exactly.
And I'm not here trying to satisfy anyone.
Yeah.
So what it says, I don't know, probably now they might think I'm going through a midlife crisis, but you know, this is my second Camaro, so.
Well, you picked a good one, that's for sure. Yeah.
I guess my whole life has been a midlife crisis as far as vehicles are concerned. Right?
I think it just means you have good taste.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's what I tell my wife, but you know.
Yeah. Does she like driving this?
Oh no, she hates it.
She hates
She
it.
hates riding it.
Really?
Yeah, because it's loud, it shakes, it smells like gasoline. You know, so you get that experience as a car enthusiast. You get the full experience, right? The full package. It doesn't separate you from the road. Like, you feel the bumps. It's a stiff suspension. It's all upgraded, but it's not meant to ride like a Cadillac, right? So it doesn't keep you away from the experience of driving, right? And that's what I enjoy. But my wife, she's not that much into vehicles, man. So, to her, as long as the AC works and the cruise control works, she's like, that's all I need, man.
A lot of people say you don't get this kind of experience with newer cars. Is that kind of a reason why you would stick to something like this?
No, not necessarily. So I'm not against modern muscle cars, and you know, if I didn't have, I'm a contractor by trade, so I need a truck, right? My daily driver is a truck, and it always has been since the beginning of me starting to drive. But if I didn't need a truck, I might drive a modern sports car. I don't know. But nothing against them. It's just, this is what I grew up seeing. So this is what you know, I always wanted to accomplish getting, and then modifying it to my taste. So it's just something you know, I ended up liking. You know, third gens. When I first got this, or even my first one, they weren't very popular, right? They were like the redheaded stepchild of the Camaro family.
Yeah.
You know, first gen, obviously a classic. Second gen, you have those split bumper. It's very, very good looking car. And then they jump into the catfish, or you know, and fifth gen. And after that, like, people really kind of just dismiss the third gen. And, you know, power-wise, yes, it lacks power, but I think just the looks of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a completely different car from the fourth gen. So that's, I just like it. I really enjoy the looks. It looks aggressive in the front, you know, and I like it.
So what made you sell your first Camaro?
Got married.
You got married?
Yeah, got married.
Life hits you.
Yeah. So it was a 1988 gunmetal gray IROC-Z, and I really liked it. You know, obviously I was more financially, I didn't have the finances back then that I do now, so it was a slow build. I owned it for about 2-3 years, and you know, I was slowly building it, but then I decided to get married. My wife didn't make me sell it. It was just it was a decision that I came to when I decided, hey, I can either, you know, keep the car, or I can sell it and use the funds to get a down payment on a home, and that's what I did.
No, it's smart. It's smart.
Yeah,
A lot of people wouldn't think like that.
Well, yeah, but you still, even though it makes sense, I still would regret the fact that I sold it.
And that's why you're here.
And that's why I'm here. Yeah. That's why I have the second one. Yeah, but that first one I bought back in 2008, 2009, somewhere around there. Yeah.
How long did you have it?
Like 2-3 years, maybe.
2 years.
Yeah.
How long have you had this one?
For about 6 years.
Oh, okay. So much longer than the first one.
Much longer. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to sell it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't have to sell it. Back then, it was something that I did to establish my future with my wife, and I don't have to do that now. So.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. So if you were to have to buy a newer car, what would you kind of look for?
Yeah, unfortunately, man, like I said, I'm a contractor by trade, so I would probably get a truck. Right. I just sold I bought brand new 2018 2500 Duramax. Loved it, got rid of it, and I don't like new vehicle prices.
Yeah, they're bad.
Even though I had the cash to buy one, I decided to go, and I currently daily drive a 97 OBS.
Okay.
So I like it, man. It's simple. It's got cruise control and AC, leather seats. That's all I need. You know, it's still 10,000 pounds. So that's all
wow.
I need.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. For what you do, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't need I have that brand new diesel, and for what I do now, I don't need it.
No, it's too much.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Have you taken this on any road trips or anything like that?
Just short ones, just to Austin.
Okay.
Austin, around San Antonio mostly. The hill country, right? Low cruises. But as far as like anything long term or long distance, I've never done that. I thought about it. I think there's like a big Camaro get together. This time, I think last year it was in Mississippi or something, and I was thinking of going, but work gets in the way. And but I wouldn't have driven it. I would have towed it.
You would have towed it?
Oh yeah.
Just to be safe.
It's fun to drive, but it would be a nightmare to drive for 10 hours.
That's a lot of seat time right there.
Yeah, that's too much. I got a bad back, man. I can't sit in this car for too long.
Are you in any kind of Camaro groups or anything?
Yeah. So I'm one of the moderators in SA3GO, which is the local San Antonio third gen organization. It sometimes fluctuates. Sometimes it's real busy. There's a lot of new members, and then there's a lull where we're all grown-ups, so we get busy with work and with life, and we're trying to establish like monthly meets or at least quarterly, but it's been pretty hard. This last couple of years for me, it's been pretty hard to set a schedule. Yeah.
So is there anything else you would change with this car right now? Any other plans that you have for it?
No, honestly, right now I'm just gonna fix whatever breaks and keep driving it around, and we'll see what the future holds.
Awesome.
Yeah, I tend to get bored of my vehicles. I got like vehicle ADD, so periodically I'll sell them and get something else. And so I never say I'm never gonna sell it, but I don't plan on selling it right now.
That's good. It sounds like a fun problem to have, is keep getting new cars to work on.
Hey man, my wife hates it. But I tend to be pretty responsible within the household, so I don't get any flack from her. She just kind of rolls her eyes, like, oh, you got another car, right?
Yeah, here we go again.
Yeah.
That's good that she supports you in your hobbies.
I wouldn't say support, I say she tolerates.
She tolerates?
Yeah.
Good enough.
And look, that's all I can expect, right? That's all I'm asking. You don't need to be like cheering me on, because then I'd buy more.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Just tolerate me.
I think that just about wraps up everything I wanted to ask.
Sure.
Is there anything that you want to let people know about what you do, or anything about the car especially?
It's a 1989 Chevy Camaro IROC-Z. They didn't have, at this point, they didn't have like the Z28 package or the SS, right, that they have now. This was the original Z28 package. And IROC-Z stands for International Race of Champions Z28. But that's it, man.
No, it's awesome. Well, we'll flash by some of those pictures, show up those rollers that we're going to take here in a little bit, and thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Pablo.
Not a problem. Thank you.
If you enjoyed the first episode of The Vroom Room and you're located somewhere between San Antonio and Austin, make sure to check out the link in the description for the Vroom Room casting form for your chance to be featured in a future episode. Be sure to follow me on socials at Precision Productions, like, follow, and subscribe to stay up to date, and keep an eye out for some exciting things that are in the works. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
You